In the April of 2019, Microsoft reached the $1 trillion valuation in the stock market, being only the second technology company in the world after Amazon to do so. But if you look back 6 years into the history of the company, the situation it was in at the time, it would not exactly predict the height it's at today. In every vertical that it was providing its products and services to, it was losing its market share. But then, the big change happened. The then CEO, Chief Ballmer, was replaced by Satya Nadella, and the seismic shift that Nadella brought on in the company is pretty apparent since then. I am your host Gurmeet, and in this episode, let's look at the growth that Satya Nadella brought into Microsoft and how this new Microsoft is different from the old Microsoft. Microsoft before 2014 under Ballmer was a vastly different Microsoft compared to what it is today. It did not have a clear vision as to which industries to focus upon. It was releasing its products haphazardly, and there was no specific direction to where the brand as a whole was moving towards.
Steve, let me ask you about the iPhone and the Zune, if I may. The Zune was getting some traction, and Steve Jobs goes to Macworld and he pulls out this iPhone. What was your first reaction when you saw that?
$500 fully subsidized with a plan? I said, that is the most expensive phone in the world, and it doesn't appeal to business customers because it doesn't have a keyboard.
This thought process can be seen in Ballmer quite a few times, and this example here right now is such a face palm in the history of technology today. Then we can see how Windows 8, launched in 2012, turned out to be a huge failure, and the adoption to it was reminiscent of when Windows Vista launched after XP. People did not move to 8 or 8.1 with as much enthusiasm compared to how Windows 7 or previously XP were released. Xbox 360 at the time turned out to be less powerful than its biggest rival, the Sony PlayStation 3, and had even weaker exclusive titles than what Sony had for their platform. The UI at launch was quite bad, and the Xbox Live integration was a failure too initially. Thus, in that space too, the company was losing its crown. Ballmer, finally having understood how he messed up big time when iPhone first launched, tried to catch ground in the mobile industry once again, but was just a bit too late. iOS and Android had already laid their foundation, and Microsoft could not build its ecosystem around the same after the downfall of Windows Phone 7 once the iPhone launched. Microsoft once again tried to catch up by buying out Nokia's mobile phone division, but found no success with successive iterations of Windows 8 Mobile and Windows 10. Ballmer also tried his hand on the PC hardware stage with the Surface lineup. Although the brand Surface caught on to be a pretty widely known one, the pricing strategy was so far off the mark that the sales were pretty much lackluster. To bring the prices down, Microsoft tried to bring Windows on then pretty weak ARM platform to the Surface RT, which turned out to be a downright failure too. So even the Surface lineup, one of the most famous line of the Windows products right now, did not find that space in the Ballmer era. All this combined was leading Microsoft to quite a weak stage when it came to competing against the other giants it was pitted against. The onboarding of Satya as the new CEO brought up a series of events rippled on by this seismic shift. The whole Microsoft brand was restructured under him. Microsoft decided to be cloud first. Nadella had vision that the future would be cloud dependent and acted upon it swiftly by a rapid expansion of its Azure platform, which now is a big competition against the Amazon Web Services and Google Cloud Services.
And we're living in this mobile first, cloud first world every day making progress. And so the question for us is, how do we thrive in that world? What new innovation can we bring? And if you look at it, for sure, the co-evolution of hardware and software is going to define a lot of what's going to happen. Today we have a particular definition of mobile, which is perhaps skewed to saying, oh, it's just the mobile phone. But you take that and say the industrial internet or the internet of everything. Everything is going to be connected to our cloud and data. And so that's the world that we are building for.
After all, in the future we are living in, it's not devices that are mobile, it's people. Nadella also decided to ditch the Windows Phone division as a whole and decided to move on to the development of better Microsoft services for other platforms, namely iOS, Android and macOS. Nadella had decided to make Microsoft approach a consumer-first approach, that no matter what platform a consumer is using, he or she shall receive the best services by Microsoft as possible. In addition to that, Microsoft Office became subscription-based with the launch of Office 365, which turned into Microsoft 365, a one-stop be-all end-all solution to the consumer, with features like OneDrive, Teams, and other integrations and more, all packed in a single platform updated yearly. This led to the revamp and direct rebuilding of major applications for iOS and Android platforms, including Microsoft Office, with even a full-fledged one for iPad. Microsoft Outlook had an overhauled app. Microsoft even took over apps like SwiftKey and Sunrise Calendar to make a better version of the same with their artificial intelligence and cloud integration. Windows 8 was overhauled to Windows 10 with the back to the basic focus. But Nadella had already shown that while Windows was still the core product for the company, their services were top-notch on any platform in the world. Microsoft surprised us even more this year by launching new Microsoft Edge, which underneath itself ran over Chromium, which is Google's web engine. This showed how focused Nadella is to be open towards all its competitors and even ready to use their products if they meant better experience for the end user. We can see how, by the addition of Linux to Windows and HoloLens development software sourced openly to be developed by developers around the world, has shown the open nature of the new Microsoft, which is a distinct difference from the Ballmer and even Gates era. In addition to that, Microsoft launched the Surface Duo, which at the core is an Android device but with the Microsoft flavor and all their services built in. But that brings up a huge point. Microsoft is no longer dependent on Windows. Services is the future, and Microsoft under Nadella is focused on building the foundation of the same. A trillion-dollar enterprise like Microsoft is now leading the way into this world of software as a service and has committed to being an open company with services even on their competitors' platform. And that, in my opinion, shows how Nadella is destined to bring Microsoft to even greater heights. That's it for today's episode. Thank you for tuning in.